Greetings, welcome to Facts About Everything. I'm your host, James Egan. Before you ask, no, I'm not wearing sunglasses, I'm wearing react-to-light glasses. I was just out in the sun, they'll revert back to normal in a minute. Today we're going to look at the DC superhero, Hawkman. To which you might think, really? That bird guy with the mace? But Hawkman is not to be underestimated. In fact, he can go toe-to-toe with Superman. While fighting the Man of Steel, Hawkman used his weapon, the Claw of Horus, which taps into the core of the planet. If Hawkman punches someone with it, it would be like being hit with the earth. So, good luck getting up from that, Superman. I mean, he did, he's freaking Superman, but still. Although people have asked me to do a video about Hawkman, I can't do it justice unless I talk about his partner, Hawkgirl. So I'll talk about both of them in this video. So, let's dive in. Hawkman debuted in Flash Comics #1 in 1940. His name is Carter Hall. Okay, every superhero has a thing. Blade has all the strengths of a vampire but none of the weaknesses, Wolverine has metal claws, and Jubilee is rubbish. So what's Hawkman's thing? In one word, reincarnation. When Hawkman dies, he will be reincarnated into another person who will eventually become Hawkman. He lives at St. Roch. His son is Hector Hall. Hector is a mystical superhero called Dr. Fate. I've already done a video about Dr. Fate. I'll leave a link at the end of this video if you want to check it out. His first incarnation was in ancient Egypt when he was Prince Khufu. He is named after Khufu, who was the second pharaoh of the 4th dynasty. Khufu commissioned the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza. However, Khufu in this comic is not supposed to be the historic version of Khufu. The comic book version of Khufu lived during the 19th dynasty in 1260 BC. The real Khufu reigned from 2589 BC to 2566 BC, but everybody knows that. When Hawkman was Khufu, the pharaoh was Ozymandias. As a pharaoh, Ozymandias took on the name Ramesses II. Hawkman is destined to find a girl who will become Hawkgirl. It is their destiny to die after they embrace their love for one another. They will then be reincarnated and the cycle will continue forever. In his original Egyptian form, he was in love with Shira. This was Hawkgirl's first incarnation. However, they are both captured by an evil priest called Hatset. Set stabbed them both with a cursed dagger. In modern times, Khufu was reincarnated into the American archaeologist Carter Hall. As an archaeologist, Carter stumbled upon the dagger that killed him when he was Khufu. When he touched the blade, he regained his memories of all his past lives. In his previous lives, Carter has been a British knight during the 5th century, a German blacksmith in the 14th century, a gunfighter called Nighthawk in the Old West, and a detective in the early 20th century. Now you might be wondering, has he ever been a historic figure in one of his incarnations? To which the answer is yes. One of his incarnations was John Smith, the colonist that married Matawaka, better known as Pocahontas.
No, he didn't.
Sorry, what?
No, Pocahontas married John Rolfe.
Really? Huh. She married John Rolfe. Learn something new every day. Another one of his incarnations was Brian Kent. He was a knight of the Round Table and served King Arthur. Anything he has learned from a previous incarnation is retained in the next one. This means he knows everything all his ancestors knew, making him incredibly knowledgeable. Because of his countless incarnations, he can speak hundreds of languages. Of all the things I just explained, I haven't explained one important thing. Why is he called Hawkman? Well, the cursed dagger that he was stabbed with was made of nth metal. This metal is capable of negating gravity. Carter puts this metal into a special belt that allows him to fly. He created a winged harness that allows him to direct himself when he is airborne. With this technology, he became the superhero Hawkman. Nth metal gives the user enhanced strength, agility, durability, and speed. He also has a huge tolerance to cold, and with his wings, he can fly at least 225 miles per hour. Unsurprisingly, Hawkman is an expert with almost every weapon because he's used so many over the millennia. You think a gun would be a really effective weapon? But Hawkman uses old-fashioned weapons because he's used nets, spears, and shields for thousands of years and can wield them better than anyone in the world. However, his primary weapon is a mace. He usually butts heads with the superhero Green Arrow. He was a priest in a previous life and can bless innocuous objects in his current life as Hawkman. One time he blessed water and then used it to kill a vampire. Since there are dozens of versions of Hawkman, you could probably imagine as a reader it might be a bit confusing to follow, but the writers thought, no, this isn't confusing enough. Let's make him an alien now for no reason. In the 1960s, his backstory was significantly altered, so he was a policeman called Qatar Hall from the planet Thangar. In the 1980s, Hawkman's backstory was changed again. This time, it was decided to amalgamate the Qatar Hall story and the Carter Hall story. The nth metal that Carter Hall uses to fly originated from the planet Thanagar. He's also known as the Savage Hawkman and the Winged Warrior. His best friend is Ray Palmer, better known as the Atom. A Thanagarian human hybrid called Charlie Parker claimed to be the son of Hawkman. Although this turned out not to be true, he went on to become his ally, Golden Eagle. Hawkman became very wealthy in some of his incarnations. He also has multiple mansions all around the world, including 2 in New York and Gotham City. Because of this, he can't really be stuck for money, because if he was ever somehow short of cash, he would just access the fortune he accumulated in a previous incarnation. He's voiced by James Remar in Justice League Unlimited. James Remar is best known as Dexter's father in the TV series Dexter.
You always were good with that thing.
Just hit him!
Right.
Hawkman is voiced by Robert Patrick in the TV series The Batman. Robert Patrick is best known for playing the T-1000 in Terminator 2.
I'm impressed. Your setup here is not that much different from police headquarters back on Thanagar. More earthbound, of course.
Okay, now let's look at Hawkgirl. Her real name is Shira Hall. Although she debuted in the same issue as Hawkman, she did not become Hawkgirl until All-Star Comics #5 in 1941. Although she has red hair, sometimes the artists forget and she's drawn with brown hair. Because artists are silly. Now, as I explained, Shira is the reincarnated version of the Egyptian Cheara. However, hers is a bit more complicated. When Shira died in the modern day, her soul left her body and went into her closest relative, her first cousin, Kendra Saunders. Kendra just committed suicide when Shira's soul entered her body. When Carter heard that Shira died, he was devastated, but he learned that her soul was inhabiting the body of Kendra Saunders. He was exhilarated that he'd be reunited with his love. However, Kendra didn't retain any of Shira's memories and had no recollection of her time as Carter's lover. This frustrated Carter as he'd been in love with her for literally thousands of years, but she had no memory of him. When Kendra realized this, she got annoyed that Carter was pressurizing her to have feelings of him. She suffers from deja vu when something happens that reminds her of her previous life. However, since she can't remember her incarnation properly, it leaves her very disoriented.
Do you remember?
She eventually regained her memories of Shira. Yeah. She has all the same fighting skills, weapons, and apparatus as Hawkman. Hawkman and Hawkgirl have been members of the Justice League, the All-Star Squadron, the Justice Society of America, the Black Lantern Corps, and the White Lantern Corps. The Black Lantern Corps is powered by death, and since Hawkman died about 50 times, he's a pretty powerful member. The White Lantern Corps is powered by resurrection. Since Hawkman's been reincarnated more than probably anyone else on Earth, he is also a very powerful member. He's also been the chairman of the Justice Society of America. The Justice Society was the first DC super team. It even predates the Justice League. Also, it goes without saying, but do let me know if you want me to do a video about any of the Justice Society members. Starman, Power Girl, Liberty Bell, Stargirl, Sandman, Mr. Terrific, Sentinel, Dr. Midnight, Hourman, Atom Smasher, Wildcat, or I can just do a video of the team in general. And finally, although they've battled many supervillains over the last 70 plus years, one of the more interesting ones is James Craddock, better known as the Gentleman Ghost. I felt like I had to talk with this guy here because his backstory is directly connected to Hawkman and Hawkgirl, and you'll see why. You see, Craddock was a robber who terrorized England in the 1800s. When he ventured to America, he encountered the gunslingers Nighthawk and Cinnamon. When Nighthawk assumed that Craddock assaulted Cinnamon, he had the crook lynched. Due to be unfairly killed, Craddock's spirit returned to the land of the living to exact revenge on Nighthawk. As we know from most ghost stories, a ghost can't move on until it resolves its unfinished business, as we've seen in the movies Ghost and Casper. Craddock's spirit will only rest when Nighthawk is dead. But there's a problem. Nighthawk and Cinnamon are the reincarnations of Hawkman and Hawkgirl. Anytime they die, they are simply reincarnated into the next generation. Because they can never truly die, Craddock is stuck as a ghost wandering the earth forever. As a result, he often torments Hawkman as well as his family and friends. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know if there's any other more obscure DC superheroes you want me to talk about, like Red Tornado, the Atom, Blue Beetle, whatever this guy's called, I don't know, Skippy, Black Canary, and so on. Special thanks to these fine people for all their help. Be sure to subscribe to Facts About Everything. Follow me on Twitter for updates on upcoming videos. Check out my Facebook page to let me know what subjects you want me to talk about in the future. Thanks for watching, see you again.